BTS Jungkook makes history as first Asian artist with multi-platinum singles. Sets new record. The narrative of global pop superstardom is often measured in streams, views, and sold-out stadiums, but the true weight of an artist's impact is frequently found in the cold, hard data of industry certifications. In a resounding validation of his individual artistry, Jeon Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, has once again etched his name into the history books of the global music industry. According to recent data released by the Canadian Recording Industry Association, often referred to as Music Canada, Jungkook has achieved a series of unprecedented milestones that solidify his status not just as a K-pop idol, but as a world-class pop giant. The figures are staggering. His debut solo single, the global anthem, 7, has been officially certified as a Quadruple Platinum Single, representing over 400,000 units sold. This achievement alone places him in a rarefied atmosphere of musical elites. But the accolades did not stop there. His subsequent solo tracks, 3D, and the Michael Jackson-esque performance piece, Standing Next to You, were both certified as double platinum singles, each surpassing 160,000 units. Furthermore, his first solo studio album, Golden, which captured the essence of his artistic maturity, has been certified as a platinum album, moving over 80,000 units in the Canadian market. Perhaps most impressively, the depth of his discography was recognized with the certification of B-side tracks. The song Yes or No from the Golden album, along with his beloved self-composed track, Still With You, newly acquired gold single status, denoting over 40,000 units sold. This particular achievement makes him the first Asian solo artist to have a non-single track like Yes or No certified gold in Canada, proving that listeners are consuming his entire body of work, not just the radio hits. With a total of 920,000 sales recorded, Jungkook now stands as the second highest-selling K-pop act in Canada, trailing only his own group, BTS. He is the only Asian solo artist to hold such a diverse portfolio of platinum albums and multiple multi-platinum singles in the region. However, to look at these certifications merely as statistics is to miss the profound human story buried beneath the platinum and gold. These numbers are the result of a journey that began long before the world knew his name. A journey defined by a boy who gave up his childhood to become a legend. To understand the magnitude of Jungkook's success in 2025, one must rewind the clock to a time when he was just a shy teenager in Busan, holding a microphone that felt too heavy for his hands. The story of Jungkook is often romanticized as the golden mogne, the prodigy who could do anything: sing, dance, rap, paint, and film. Yet, industry sources and early archival footage reveal a much more fragile reality. When he was scouted after auditioning for a talent show, he was merely 15 years old. He was a child with doe eyes and a quiet voice, thrust into the frantic high-pressure environment of the Seoul entertainment industry. He left his parents, his brother, and the comfort of his home to live in a cramped dormitory with 6 strangers who would eventually become his family. But the transition was far from easy. There is a specific, haunting loneliness that comes with being the youngest. In the early days of his training, verified accounts from his bandmates and agency executives describe a Jungkook who was painfully shy. The founder of his agency, Bang Si-hyuk, once recalled in an interview that during his trainee days, when asked to sing, Jungkook would sometimes tear up and cry because he was so paralyzed by shyness and the fear of judgment. He would twist his body, hiding within himself, terrified of the spotlight he had traveled so far to find. It is a stark contrast to the confident global pop star who now commands stages in New York and London, but that shy boy still lives within his history. The pressure of the golden title was a heavy crown to wear. Being good at everything meant that perfection was the baseline expectation. While other teenagers were navigating high school crushes and video games, Jungkook was navigating the brutal expectations of an industry that treats one false note as a career-ending failure. He grew up under the lens of a camera. His puberty, his acne, his voice cracks, and his graduation were all consumed by the public. He had to mature at an accelerated rate, skipping the carefree mistakes of youth to become a disciplined professional before he was even a legal adult. There were nights of profound uncertainty. In the early years, when the future of the group was shaky and financial resources were scarce, the fear of failure was a constant companion. Jungkook has spoken in documentaries about the times he felt inadequate, times when he felt he was lagging behind his talented older brothers. He would stay in the practice room long after the others had left, drilling dance moves until his muscles screamed, driven by a desperate need to prove that he belonged. He was fighting a war against his own insecurities, battling the voice in his head that asked, "Am I good enough?" One of the most poignant aspects of his struggle was his empathy. In his solo song Begin, released years later, he confessed that his own hardship was manageable, but seeing his Hyungs, his older bandmates, struggle was what broke him. He described feeling like he was dying when his brothers were sad. This revelation offered a glimpse into the heart of the boy who had been raised by these 6 men. He was an emotional sponge, absorbing their stress and their pain, often carrying the weight of the group's emotional state on his own young shoulders. Fans often recall the stories of him crying in the shower or turning away from the camera to wipe his eyes, trying to maintain the image of strength while his heart was overwhelmed. These were not the tears of a celebrity upset about a bad review. They were the tears of a young man grappling with the immense burden of carrying millions of dreams on his back. He sacrificed the normalcy of life, the ability to walk down a street unnoticed, to have a private dinner, to make mistakes without global scrutiny, in exchange for the chance to sing. The comeback of Jungkook, specifically his rise as a solo artist, was his ultimate test. Stepping away from the protective formation of BTS to release Golden was a leap into the unknown. For a decade, he had the other 6 members to lean on. If his voice tired, someone else would sing. If he felt anxious, someone else would speak. But with his solo debut, he was alone. The stage was vast and empty, and every eye was fixed solely on him. In interviews surrounding his solo release, he expressed a raw honesty about this transition. He admitted to missing the chaos of the group, to feeling the silence of the waiting rooms. Yet, he faced that silence with a steel resolve. He worked tirelessly, flying between continents, recording in foreign studios, and pushing his vocal capabilities to new heights. He wasn't just trying to release a hit. He was trying to find out who Jeon Jungkook was when the lights of BTS dimmed. The certifications from Music Canada are the answer to that quest. They prove that he is not just a fraction of a group, but a complete, formidable artist in his own right. The success of Standing Next to You and 7 showcases a vocalist who has mastered the universal language of pop music. But perhaps the most touching victory is the gold certification of Still With You. Still With You was not originally a commercial product. It was a song released for free on SoundCloud, a gift dedicated solely to his fans during a rainy season. It was a letter of longing, promising that no matter the distance, he would still be with them. For this song to achieve commercial certification years later, without a traditional promotional push, speaks to the deep, emotional bond he has cultivated. It proves that his fans are not just consuming a product, they are listening to his heart. Currently, as Jungkook fulfills his mandatory military service, appearing only in pre-recorded content or news headlines, his presence feels more powerful than ever. While he sleeps in a barracks, wearing a uniform instead of designer clothes, his voice is traveling across oceans, breaking records in Canada, and echoing in the playlists of millions. There is a poetic justice in this. The boy who was once too shy to sing, who cried in fear of the microphone, has created a legacy that speaks loudly even when he is silent. The platinum records are shiny and impressive, But the true victory of Jungkook's life is his resilience. He endured the lonely nights of a trainee, the crushing pressure of fame, and the terrifying vulnerability of standing alone, all to keep a promise to himself and his fans. He grew up in a glass house, yet he never threw stones. Instead, he used the light to grow. As we look at these staggering numbers from Canada, we should not just see a super pop star. We should see a 15-year-old boy who took a deep breath, wiped his tears, and stepped into the practice room one more time. We should see the sacrifice of a youth given to the world. And in that reflection, we find not just admiration for his talent, but a deep, quiet respect for the man he fought to become. He is no longer just the golden mogne. He is an artist of gold, platinum, and unwavering spirit.